And welcome to Through the Static. This is Stephen the Medium, your host. And I gotta say, every time I hear that theme song, I just love it. It's just the fact that it's gonna take a lot of love. I love. And I've always loved that song anyway. So listen, I hope everybody's having a great Wednesday. We, as always, just had a really great time with everybody on Facebook Live. It's always so much fun just going on Facebook Live and chatting before the show starts. And I always, want to even start doing readings then, but it's too much. I know that Spirit is ready and prepared, but I always try to hold back, and that's why I allow lives that are specific for doing readings. So Mark, our producer, is here, and Elix is somewhere in the galaxy floating around. He did say that he had to shut his computer off and come back on because he was having some issues. But he'll be here. I'm here, and I'm really excited about getting to do this show. So I was talking about a couple of things on Facebook Live, but first and foremost, I just want to make sure I do little administrative stuff that here and there I'll do. If you are someone who has talked to me over the past several weeks, please just take a break and let people that have never called in and never had an opportunity to call in to get a reading. I would very much appreciate that, because every single week I get people saying they can never get through, and people that have never spoken to me. So, and we want to share Spirit. So I very much appreciate it. And there was another administrative piece I was going to say, and it completely, once I start talking on the show, it's like the corral gets open and Spirit's like, all right, when are you starting? When are you starting? And it kind of messes me completely up. But what I was saying, and maybe the administrative thing will come back. Oh, I think I remember that next week we will not be here because we'll be away for my show and Elix's show. Elix does his Get a Grip with Coach Elix at 1 o'clock on Fridays. So we won't be here all next week. So enjoy today, and then we'll be back in 2 weeks. But I was saying on Facebook Live that Saturday, Elix and I had two great friends, David and his fiancée Nicolette, who are just both adorable. And we were just talking about what David does, and it's just so interesting that David's just a guru in the spirit world too. So he's got a lot of knowledge in so many aspects of meditation and so much more. But he has this frozen program that I guess you'd call it cryogenics. But he was telling us about it Saturday, and he said Sunday, the day after, he had 30 people that were meeting him in this pond. I know what the pond is, somewhere near where they live, outside of Boston, and that these 30 people were going to, in bathing suits in this weather, were going to walk into this pond that is freezing and just slowly, sort of like the January 1st, like the polar plunge, but it's different in the sense that you just don't run in and then run out. There's a intention behind this, which I think is just so cool. Because if you do things with intention, it's sort of magnifies it. It's sort of like on steroids. That's what you want. I never start a reading without setting an intention. Even when I do the show, before I logged on, I did my intention for the callers that I get to give them the best readings I can. So, which is really cool. But in any case, so we had 30 people, and he did a video and was telling us about this, that he was going to be doing this the following day, that he had to get there before the 30 people were going to get there, and just saw into the ice and make this, right at the shoreline, make this piece that you could just walk in. And I think there's more footage coming, but he did do a video, and it was amazing. And the first reaction, I was telling my best friend, I think Sunday, Paul, who you probably heard me talk about, and he is I think he may even think Florida in the summer is not warm enough. I mean, he's just that kind of person. He loves the heat and he hates the winter, and he pretty much just said there's no way he would do that. And I get that, and I understand that. But I will tell you that this is something that is getting traction, and it's getting just a lot of people looking at it because of the health benefits. The health benefits, the physical benefits, the mental benefits. It's one of those things that you just you probably have a lot of emotions about, and you're not sure if you want to do it. But I know Elix and I, when we get back, we're going to set up some time, and both of us want to do that. I was actually a little bit surprised because if you follow the show, you know that I must have been a polar bear in a past life. Seriously, because I love the cold. I love it. A couple of days ago, I posted that day that it was like 4 degrees. I went running Sunday, and Elix looked at me when I was getting ready to leave. Are you coming? And he looked at me like cross-eyed, like heck no. And I went, and it certainly it was cold, but it was invigorating. I loved it. I will say my toes at the end were getting a little numb, but overall, I think I ran. It was a shorter run, just over 3 miles, something like that, 3:25, but it was great. But I love the cold, and I think this is going to be a great thing, even though I know I will be cold doing this. And one thing I asked David was something that's important to me that just as soon as I heard his answer, I'm like, I'm in. I said to David, when you do that, is it good for your skin? And he was like, absolutely. So, I mean, who doesn't want better skin, right? And keep your skin preserved. And, that's, skin and cryogenics. That's what it's all about. So I'm really excited to get to do this. But I was really surprised the Puerto Rican who grew up in Puerto Rico till 18 on an island that never gets cold is going to do that. But that's why I love Elix, is because he is a risk taker. And I will say that it's a lot of it has to do with me. I remember not just me, but there's times that I'm definitely more risky, have a risky, essence than he does. And I remember we were at a water park. I don't remember which one it was. And there was this slide called Geronimo. And at first I said, let's go on it. He was like, there is no way I'm going on that. But ultimately I talked him into it, and he did it. He did say he was glad he did it, but he would never do it again. But that's just who Elix is. He's ready to try anything. And I think the greatest thing about how the two of us live our lives is that, a lot of times people, as they get older, will say, when I was younger, I was much more risky. If I was younger, I wouldn't care about this. I would do this, and things have things have changed. And the great thing about the way Elix and I look at life and stay in the present is that I think it's part of it is maybe the opposite. I'm not sure when I was 20, and what was that, 5 years ago? I'm just making sure nobody comments on that because it's true. I don't know if I would have done this lake thing. I'm not sure. And now I just think of, health and the benefits and I think just the excitement, the change, the difference. And, I think for happiness, from what spirit tells me, what I feel is that autonomy, when you're doing things that you want to do yourself. You're not doing them because it's a reward or you're getting paid for it or you feel like you have to, or it's a decision based on fear. That's where I think you get away from your passion, your potential, your happiness. And when the more time spent of doing things that you love, that you just want to do them just because you love, just like I'm doing this show, just like I did Facebook Live. I love seeing people. I love getting to chat with them and engaging with everybody. And when I come back from break, which I'm going to take in a second, the first caller, I love all of that. That brings you closer and closer to happiness. So, and the last thing I'll say, because I know I'm over time before I take a break, if anybody who's very, very connected is maybe not feeling connected or feeling off, it's not a biggie. It's just, spirit just keeps telling me that it's not about, Mercury retrograde. It's nothing like that. It's just about the bigger piece of where we are after the pandemic, and energy is a little chaotic right now. So hold on tight. We'll get all through this. When I come back, I'll take my first caller. So we will be right back. I got an L. L as in Laura. Good afternoon. This is Stephen the Medium, and welcome to Through the Static. And lo and behold, guess who's with me?
Me, Coach Elex, who got stuck into La La Land here trying to get in. But I'm here. That's what matters. So.
Well, that was a good conversation on break too. So, but you're here, and sometimes this technology stuff just causes a little delay. But you're here, Elix. So
yes, that's what matters.
But I got to. You missed the whole chat, but I will. Hopefully at the end we'll be able to chat a little bit. So, but let me go to the first caller. Hi, this is Stephen. Who's this? Hello.
Hello.
Hi, who's this?
This is Emily.
Emily, how are you?
Good.
Emily, are you a woman of little words? Emily, I'm glad you called, and I love my first call. Well, I love all my callers, but this just sets the tone, Emily. So let's get Emily. Wow, you're like spastic connected. Like, do you have a clue how connected you are to spirit?
No.
I knew it. I can count on a hand how many times I've said that to someone, and I don't think I've ever heard yes. Maybe once I've heard yes. So, if spirit's having me say that, Emily, just make sure you keep it with you. Emily, was there somebody like in culinary, like cooking or baking, connected to you?
Oops. My aunt is, but she's still here.
Right, and I love that. What is she? Is she a baker? Is she what does she do?
Well, she likes baking like a lot.
Oh, it could be. Is this mom's sister?
Yes.
I just asked her, is that who you're referencing? And they gave me maternal. Say maternal. So it's just a great thing that they're giving us a validation. Your mom is still here, though, right?
Yes.
So Emily, let me tell you what I'm going to tell you. There's a grandmother, but do you have two grandmothers crossed?
No, only one.
Is that your dad's?
No, my mom's.
So okay, so mom's mom, and then it's got to be then dad's grandmother. Then it's got to be a great grandmother because they're both stepping forward, and both of them just said, "What's the birthday or anniversary really close?" There's something connected to you. Do you know?
My cousin's birthdays were on. Well, my cousin's birthday is Thursday. My cousin's birthday, both of them were on Monday.
I love it, and it's just this is like a family affair, and I love that you have that the chipmunks in the background that are helping you out. I love it. So it's just a really great validation about what's going on currently, and that aunt that likes to bake, there had to. Oh, who's Rose? Where's Rose come in? There's a Rose name. What was that?
I don't know of any Rose.
So Emily, just make sure you keep it with you. When they give me the name Rose, it could be the name. It could be like Emily Rose or a middle name as Rose, or it could be, roses, or someone took roses from, like a ceremony or service. Just make sure you hang on to it, because that's what, if they're giving it to me, there's a reason for it. They also, your mom's mom, I think that's who you said is crossed, just said to me that she's always with you. There was someone religious too, Emily. Very religious, because I see statues of like Mary, or is there a Mary or Marie connected to you guys too?
That's my aunt's middle name.
The baker?
Yeah.
Well, everyone's with this baker. The Auntie Baker is getting a lot of action here. So know that it's just because it's, if you think about it, it's your mom's mom, so she's just giving a reference to her kids. And someone lost a child. There's a child in spirit. Do you know someone, Emily? I can't tell if this is it's your grandmother giving it to me. I don't know if it's your grandmother, if it's someone closer to you, but there's it feels like a miscarriage, but there's a child in spirit somewhere. So just, do you have any idea what grandma's talking about?
I was a twin, but The other one didn't survive.
Oh my God, Emily! So this is your twin stepping forward. Wow. Oh, that's pretty amazing. And one of the things that I was going to say, and I didn't know this was from was your twin a boy or do you have a brother? What's the boy?
I mean, I think it was a boy, but we're not 100% sure.
Oh, now you are. So you, Mama, everybody else, Dad, everyone knows it was a boy. It definitely was a boy. But just make sure I love this is coming from your twin brother. And he just said to make sure, whoever is listening family-wise, and if they're not, make sure they go to my Facebook page or YouTube to hear this again. He's not missed anything at all. Like every milestone, but mostly also with you. And, he just keeps saying, Emily, I got the best sister in the world, but he also just keeps talking about, did you change like what you're doing, or are you thinking about changing something like schooling or career wise?
I mean, me and my mom are trying to move to Tennessee.
Wow. That could be the change that they're giving as a validation. I don't know who's the L name, like Lee or Lori or Larry or Linda. There's an
My
L.
aunt's name is Lindsay.
Oh my God. Is this the baker again?
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, she really is getting a lot of action. So, but this is a great. Oh, and who's the really, really strong dad? Is your mom's dad crossed?
No.
So there's a dad figure. So if your dad is still here, Emily, then there's a maybe it's your dad's dad. But is there a separation? Why does your grandmother keep talking about? And it feels I don't know if this is geographically or relationship wise. So is your dad somewhere else?
My mom and dad aren't together.
Oh, that's what it is. So why they do that is that especially your grandmother and everybody else in spirit, and there's a really, really strong father figure. And your grandmother just said, "I cannot believe that my granddaughter has help and nobody's getting the rose." So your grandma is on you guys for the rose. You better figure it out. And she's laughing hysterically, Emily. But every let me just say this, Emily. Your grandmother just said to me that she talks about this little ring. What's with the ring? What your grandmother keeps talking about? Does your mother have her ring, or why is she talking about a ring?
My mom has a ring that has all of whose children? My grandmother's. Wait, your grandmother's or my grandmother's? Mine. My mom's grandmother's children.
It's a ring?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, so that's your mom's, so that's your great grandmother?
Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool that she's also stepping forward. I knew at the beginning of this reading there was a great grandmother stepping forward, so I love that. They just yelled out to your mother. Is your mother listening?
Yeah.
So Mom, your mom just yelled out and said, please tell my daughter to stop stressing. Stop stressing. It's not helpful to health. Just stop worrying. Everything is going to work out the way it's supposed to work out. And it's good. And your Emily, your grandmother, who, I love her as she steps forward and I can feel her energy, just keeps saying that it just gets as you may not be able to see it right in front of you. And this is for you and your mom. The difference or the changing coming, but it is coming. So make sure you keep that with you. And your grandmother, Emily, just said this is definitely a growth, like a growing period, and that moving forward, it's just it's almost. Your grandmother says it's almost like one of those, your car gets into a ditch and you've been sitting in this ditch, and somehow, some way, you're finally, a tow truck comes by and fixes the flat and you're moving now and getting out of there. So it's a really, really great, sort of future element that your grandmother's giving. So just make sure you hang on to it and grasp that. And I don't know if you're going to say, I didn't know this, but you've got a lot of artistic stuff to you too, Emily. Like a lot of very, very, when I just leaned into your energy, it's very artistic, very, and a lot of people say to me, no, I don't know how to draw. I don't know how to do that. But that's not really just only artistic. It's the way your brain works. And there's, your grandmother keeps talking about hair. Like, did you change your hair? Did your mother, like, is there somebody cosmetology?
My aunt, the base, wanted to be a hairdresser.
Oh my God. I'm going to have, what's your aunt's name? What's Auntie what?
Lindsay.
Lindsay. I'm going to have Auntie Lindsay on because clearly there's something going on with her. But again, just make sure you know that your grandmother is with you guys and just giving you such blessings. And the best thing about when your grandmother just said that, Emily, is that you guys have so many angels around you too. And someone's talking about a car, like either buying a car or changing a car or something like. I don't know what this is. So just make sure you hang on to it. It's just a way to let you know that they know what's going on and they see what's going on. So I got to take a break, Emily. So listen, thank you so much for calling, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Lots of love to you, Emily. Bye-bye, and we'll be right back. And welcome back to Through the Static. I have Coach Elix with me today.
Hi, in the
Coach
house.
Elix.
Yes, thank you.
And let me go to the next caller. Hi, this is Stephen. Who's this?
Courtney.
Hi, Courtney. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too, Courtney. So, Courtney, where's the music connected to you? But why did someone play? Is someone... even before I heard your voice, I keep hearing there's just music notes around me. So is there anybody, brother, sister, you connected to music?
My son loves music. He's big into dancing, doesn't even need music to dance.
I love it. I love that's how they're starting with your son. Where's the A come in? The A name. Why do I keep hearing? Wait a minute. You have two kids?
I do.
Because I just said we just got one, and someone just yelled out two. So just giving a nice validation for both your children. But the Ann, who's Ann, or the middle name Anna, Al? There's somebody, Courtney, that's I can't tell right now if they're in spirit or they're here, but they keep giving me or no, Ava. It's an A name. So I don't know. Just make sure you keep it with you. Okay. I'm sorry. Did you say something?
No, I said okay.
Also, Brian, Bob. Who's the B? Barbara connected to you?
I have an Uncle Brian, but he's still with us.
Yeah, as I mention all the time, that spirit, will validate people who are still living. But, I can't get off this A, first name, middle name. You know what, Courtney, it feels like? It feels like someone was thinking about naming a child an A name, or if they had another child, they would have an A name, first or middle name connected. So just keep it with you. That's exactly what they're giving me as in spirit. And also this really, really strong. Well, I was going to say, well, let me stick with the mom. There's a mother energy stepping forward. So is mom here?
Yes, she is.
So then it's got to be like most likely a grandmother, or it could be a mother-in-law if you have one who's crossed. No, it's a grandmother. She just yelled out. Why?
I do have someone who was like a mother to me. I knew her my whole life, and she has crossed.
Oh wow! So maybe it is her. Did she cross from Cancer?
No.
So if she didn't cross from Cancer, why did she? This is her. Why does she keep giving me the C or K name? I know you're Courtney, but there's something else with the C or K. Did she have someone like really close connected to her? Was her first name, middle name, last name C or K? She keeps saying C.
My mother, who's her best friend, my mother's a C.
Oh, so she's giving. I got it. And then she's very. I love her. I love this woman. Like your sort of second mom, because she also said M name. She keeps saying Courtney knows. I love her energy, but there's an M. Marie, Mike. There's something in M connected. So just make sure you keep it with you if it doesn't come. She also just said to me that she's watching the two kids, but are there the dad? Is he away?
My dad lives in another country.
Oh, so got it. It's just when I heard the father figure and just saying that he's just, it felt like it was geographically away. So, he's everybody in spirit's just giving that as a validation for you, Courtney, too, to let you know that they're around the prize. I don't know if I've ever heard that in spirit. The prize, the prize. Did someone win something recently? Courtney's like, I wish.
I know, seriously.
I keep hearing the prize. I don't know if this is like someone uses that term like as a nickname or just prize. I don't know what this is. Are your kids in are they do they do any kind of sports or anything like that, or are they too young?
No, they're too young. My mother does have a lawsuit in process, so maybe she wins that. Who knows?
What's the 6 connection? June, the month of June, or?
My daughter was born in June.
Got it. So and there's another 2 connection. I know you said you have 2 kids, but I don't know if there's something in February or the second of a month. But there's something with no. They're talking about the second child, the baby. Is that daughter the baby?
Yep, she's the baby.
Yeah, so it's just they're just giving as a validation, but I don't know, Courtney. I don't think that prize is connected to that lawsuit. They would have given me that in a different way. This something else. Just make sure that the whole point of this is that your loved ones are letting you know that they know exactly what's going on. And when I just said, well, now that Courtney brought up the lawsuit, and she just gives like a thumbs up, but they also give me, as an attorney, as I know this, it just takes forever. But something shifts or changes, Courtney, soon. It either just did or it's about to with that suit. So I don't know what that is, but something changes, that it's sort of been stagnant and something changes. I don't know what the questions are either. There's a crossing and there's questions about how they passed. Somebody connected to you. So there's somebody, I don't know if it's like they never knew exactly the health of what happened, but there's something with something that somebody is questioning. So just make sure you keep that with you, okay?
Okay.
All right, listen, Courtney, I got to go on to the next caller, but thank you so much for calling and lots of love to you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye. Hi, I think we're going to go to the next
Hi.
caller. Who's this?
Sandra.
What was it?
Sandra.
Sandra, how are you, Sandra?
Oh, I'm okay. And yourself?
I'm good too. So Sandra, there's a mother energy and a father energy that step forward at the same time. Are these parents? Are your parents crossed?
Yes.
So both of them is so cool, Sandra. I couldn't even say your mom's first and your dad's first. They both just came like at exactly the same time to let you know that they're here with you. And someone keeps yelling out the really loud, like Barbara, Brian. But who's the B name connected?
Well, my nickname is Bonnie.
Oh my God, Sandra, I love that. I love that your parents are using that nickname. I couldn't tell exactly what it was, and believe me, I would not have got that. But my God, I think when I started with Emily, I have to say to you too that you've got a really, really quick and strong connection to spirit, Sandra. Because your mother just said to me, my daughter, she feels things. Like she doesn't. Well, let me tell you something, Sandra. Your mom just said, but my daughter doesn't know how connected to the level of connection she actually has. Like it's way more than she thinks. And I don't know if you're going to understand this, but your mom just said to me, and my daughter over the past maybe couple of years, this connection has grown. Like she either, I don't know if you're feeling more things or know more stuff, but all I can tell you is that it's your mom also just said to me, it used to take like for Sandra to think of me, and people just think that when we're thinking of mom or dad, someone who's passed, it's just a random thought, and it's never a random thought. It's because they're standing next to us, and why we think of them is because we feel their energy, even though we don't even know we're doing it. But I love your mom's really cool because your mom said my daughter is gotten so much better. Now it takes like 30 seconds, and she knows I'm around. Like she feels it, or she gets goose pimples. So it's really, really great. But your mom also talks about the jewelry. She keeps saying something about no, it's a wedding ring or a stone. It looks to me like a diamond or a wedding band. Was there something that Sandra, and it was changed? Something changed with a piece of jewelry, or was lost or stolen?
Well, I had jewelry in my purse for the last few weeks or months, and I just took it out Saturday.
Wow.
Out of my purse. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I had several pieces of jewelry in a little clear bag, and my mind told me, I said, I'm gonna take it out because I've been carrying it around for a while.
But is that somebody? Is that connected to somebody? Is it like a hand-me-down, or is it just your stuff?
No, well, it's just my stuff that I know of.
You know what? And Sandra, the great thing is it could be a double validation, but there's something there. It feels like something is lost. And Sandra, the wild thing about spirit is that they don't have an essence of time, so they could be bringing something up that happened like 30 years ago. But there's a piece of jewelry that is either lost or stolen that your mother keeps talking about.
I had a wedding band that was stolen years ago.
Oh my God, that's what your mother. That's what
years
I was
ago.
talking
And
about.
it's been
Yes.
about 30 years. Seriously.
I
For
love
real.
your mom. I love your mom. It's just a great way to say she's with you, she's around you. And Sandra, I mean, I can feel this anyway, but you're everybody in spirit. Like there's your parents, your grandparents, but there also feels like, did you lose a sibling?
Yes, I just buried on Saturday.
Oh my God, Sandra. Wow. It's,
My sister Rosetta. My
oh
sister
my,
Rosetta. She
oh
was
my
my
God.
best friend. And I
Oh,
just buried her Saturday.
Sandra, there's no way your sister Rosetta would have let this end, And, on the radio, unfortunately, I can't spend a lot of time with people as much as I love to,
Mm-hmm.
especially you. You've got so many people here. But I love the fact that Rosetta said, there's no way this is ending without my sister knowing that I'm with her. And, your sister just said, and I was about to say, I can feel this anyway. And now I know it is your sister. Your sister just said, Stephen, you're talking to the most precious, warm-hearted, big-hearted woman you will ever meet in your life. The
Oh, God.
compassion in her is overwhelming, and yet she's the most humble person you'll also ever meet. She would never say that about herself, but everybody in spirit love. And Rosetta just said, to you, Sandra, you're here because you're supposed to be here, and how you affect people and everything that you're right now, what your life's about. Sandra, just make sure you hang on to that, because the effect over the years that you've had on people is extraordinary, Sandra.
Oh, wow. You don't know how that made me feel.
Yeah, it's a
God.
I can feel your energy, and your energy is like, if this wasn't COVID and you were in front of me, I'd give you the biggest hug, and sort of selfishly, because I would just want to feel that energy you've got is amazing, Sandra. So just your sister just said, because I've got to take a break. Keep
Okay.
the faith. I know you will. And that your sister just said, tell my sister every single night I hold her hand, and every morning I'm
Oh,
holding her
God.
hand. Your sister is with you all the time, Sandra. She just,
I thank
that
you for
that
that.
that love does not break. So thank you so much for letting me do this, Sandra,
Thank you.
and lots of love to you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, and we'll be
Okay.
right
Bye.
back. And welcome back to Through the Static. This is Stephen, the medium. You know, I was just thinking on the break, when I started with Emily and was asking about the rose, not to take away from that validation, because I know Spirit gives me things that they know is connected somehow. But something tells me that Sandra's sister, Rosetta, was also part of that rose, and probably just so excited knowing, because Spirit sees the future, knowing that her sister is getting through a couple of callers later on, and I love it. I can, when I finished that call with Sandra and we took a break, I could feel Rosetta next to me, and she talked about Sandra being such an incredible person, and I gotta say that this Rosetta was just as incredible. So Sandra, you are so lucky to have this life. So all right, let me go to the next caller. Hi, this is Stephen. Who's this?
Denise.
Hi, Denise. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. Did you say fantastic?
I did.
Oh, I love that. It's very good. Wow. I almost wanted to ask. Are you there, Denise?
I am.
Okay. I almost wanted to ask at first about the teacher. But I keep getting with you names that just keep randomly popping up, and usually when I see like a lot of letters, it's teaching. But in this particular case, where's the E, like the Edward or Elizabeth or E, the first or middle name or last name come in? Do you know, either living or past? There's
it could
really
be Edith.
What was that?
Edith.
Who's Edith?
It's my grandma's middle name. They call it Edie.
Wow. I didn't know. I probably wouldn't have got Edith because I just don't even think, because it's a frame of reference for me, and I don't even think of the name Edith, but I just love, but she's crossed, right?
She has.
Yeah, so I love that she's stepping forward to let you know that she's here. And what is she showing me? That grandmother is always with you, and she's showing me something, and I'm just asking her, what are you showing me? She keeps showing me like Denise, did you knew her, right?
I did.
Were you there when she died?
Yes, I was in the house.
The reason why I'm asking is because I just said to your grandmother, Edie, what are you showing me? And she kept showing me like someone that kept touching her hand. Like, and it felt like right, like before, I don't know if it was like the second she passed, or maybe it was just one of those things. I just keep feeling like, and I keep feeling like it's comfort. Like she's bringing it up because, to let everybody know she knew it was happening, and just it was just very, very comforting on both sides. Your mom is still here, Denise, or crossed?
She's crossed.
So it's I kind of thought she was crossed.
Oh, her middle name is Elizabeth, and I was holding her hand.
What?
I was with her when she passed. Yes.
Oh my
I had the wrong
God.
person.
So this is your mom.
Yes.
Well, Edie, Grandma Edie, just yelled out when you said that. What does she mean, the wrong person? I'm here too. So she loves I mean, I wouldn't usually normally use this word, but the strength that they've given you, and the strength, like in the connection and the strength that you still have with them is, it's just pretty phenomenal, Denise. It's just it's unlike what I usually like. I see energy back and forth when people are in spirit and living. That energy with you is just it's very, very different. Even, to be honest, even the colors are different. Just like they're I don't know if this is going to make sense, and I don't think I've ever seen this, but the colors around you are like 4th of July, if you have a sparkler, that's what I feel. And it sort of is, I got to say this the right way, Denise, and believe me, this is a compliment. It feels like I love watching it, but if I get too close, like one may just come out and like sting me. Like there's just, you're complex. I'll just say that. You've got a lot of complexities with you and who you are, and just how, the best way to say this, Denise, which is pretty wild, is the complex piece is you in this life, because there's also so many past lives that are just around, that in a drop of a hat, a past life sort of overlaps you, and it's like two ships passing in the night, and as soon as they hit, like they're parallel to each other, like you feel that and you know that. So there's just a lot going on with you, and a lot of great things. And I always tell people that, which I don't get to say this a lot because I don't usually see people's auras like sparklers. Just saying, Denise, but just saying, like when you've got that kind of power, it is, no matter which way you look at it, it's a great thing. But that's also sometimes very hard. It's hard to harness that power sometimes, because sometimes it's just, you don't realize how overpowering it can be. And and sometimes it takes many, many years to figure it out. And you can either go on the opposite side of it and feel like, oh my God, I don't feel anything, I don't have any power, or go the other side and like things are like just like wow. So I don't know if that makes sense, but overall, Denise, it is a huge compliment. So I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you so much for calling, and lots of love to you, Denise.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. So end of the show, Coach Elix, tell people what's going on with you, and where they can find you and all that kind of stuff.
Well, everyone can find me at Coach Elix on social media. They can also find me here Friday at 1 p.m. They should tune in to listen to Get a Grip with Coach Elix.
I love that. And those shows are pretty amazing. I'm still sort of hanging on to the last one with Elix. That was pretty amazing.
Yes, and this Friday we are going to be talking about emotional burnout. We've talked about a lot of physical burnout, but this time we're going to take a deeper look into how physical burnout really turns into emotional burnout, and it may have a much bigger negative effect on us.
And can it go the opposite way? Emotional burnout turn into physical burnout?
Absolutely.
So this is going to be very interesting, and I am part of it, just like Elix is my co-host. I am his co-host on Fridays at 1 o'clock. Get a Grip with Coach Elix. And before I forget, make sure you also check out Mark, who produces both our shows. His radio show, Mark's Jukebox, is Wednesday right before mine, only he does 2 hours, 3 to 5, and I always say it's a great show. He comes up with themes, and it's just one of those great 2 hours that you can just sit back and just relax and just listen to all these oldies, which I love. And thank God for Mark, because he's the one that helps us out and does everything for us in reference to the show. So you can find me, Stephen the Medium, across the board. And as I mentioned on Facebook Live, I'm going to post a video of me and Elix. At the beginning, you'll see me attempting to make cookies.
Me and Elix is mostly you.
Well, but I want to.
Elix shows up.
Well, the whole. I wanted to see if I could do it by myself, and I mean, I've made cookies before, but I've never used a food processor to mix anything. And I got to tell you that, thank God for the video, because I could pause it, then come back, because there were a couple of times that I was probably there like 10 minutes trying to figure out how to even open the food processor. And at one point when you see in the video, you see me. I get the first ingredient in, and I pulsed, and I'm like, when you pulsed, you just keep hitting the button or you hold it down? Well, I just held it down for a minute, let it go, and then it wouldn't go anymore. It wouldn't. And then I realized very quickly that the top shifted, and I'm like, oh, that's why you always see people when they're pulsing holding the top of the blender or the food processor, right? Mm-hmm. Is that a blender or a food processor?
Food processor.
Two
different things.
So I put it on, and then it was all good. But and as I mentioned on Facebook Live, listen, if you want to just also, like I talked about Mark's show, if you want to just sit back and watch something that's going to make you laugh, that just may make you tinkle a little, so just watch me.
Gentlemen?
Yes?
Hello?
Hello?
Since we have a second, Elix, Will it be like tonight at 9 o'clock on the Food Network? There's a show called Worst Cooks in America.
It would be exactly like that.
I don't know if you've ever seen it. But.
Yeah, I brought that up, Mark, on Facebook Live, saying that I would win that show. Yeah, there's no question.
And he's not kidding.
No, I would definitely win it, but I think I would bring a lot of humor to it too. So if anyone's listening, reach out to me. I'll come on. I can't promise I wouldn't like burn something down, but yeah. So if you're interested, watch this video because it is pretty funny and to see the end result. So all right, listen, Mark, thank you for interjecting. I love it. And so neither one of us are doing our shows next week. Elix is here Friday. We'll be here Friday. The following week we'll be away, and so I will be back in 2 weeks for Through the Static and chat with you then. So lots of love to all of you, and have a great week, and bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.